The off-season program is over, and you guys have questions. We're going to do our best to answer them. A little asked and answered show today on the CHGO Bears Podcast starts right now. I don't even know how that's possible. CHGO, welcome in. It's a beautiful day. It is Wednesday, June 11th. As this set falls apart on us right as the show started. No, I don't need
nice recovery.
I don't need to bring up, but it was so funny. I need to bring it up.
Nice recovery.
We have this little speaker here that's under the monitor we're looking at as we do this fine show with you. Adam Hoge, Carman, Greg Braggs Jr., Stephen Nicholas producing. And somehow the speaker just like a ghost pushed it off the table, and it just like went in three pieces, and I somehow fixed it in 10 seconds.
It was one of your greater performances ever. I've never seen you spring out of the chair. Normally your talents lie in, Carm, take the garbage out. But today you did that and you fixed the speaker.
It's actually not fully, it's fixed enough to get through this show.
Well, we got the mics fixed. So that's,
These are some brand new, nice mic arms. Is that what they call them? Arms?
I'd like to blame every performance that I've had on the show that wasn't elite on the prior arms that we use. Now that we have these,
now you'll be talking.
You have no excuse for not talking into the microphone.
This is the arm that I needed. Thank you to Jake Flanagan, Brandon Spano, Kevin Cada, Tony Gill.
Who else?
There's no chance that Kevin Cada had anything to do with these.
Shout out to Allie. How many bosses do you think you have here? Braggs, you're my boss. Hoge, you're my boss. Steven's kind of my boss.
Only kind of your boss.
Okay, fine, you're my boss.
Hoge's not your boss. Hoge's your daddy.
My daddy. My uncle. Uncle Rico. All right.
Yes.
Back to you, Hoge.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Welcome to the off season, everybody. We have made it. We are officially here in the dark days of the off season, and Greg is sticking around for one day. And quite frankly, he's only like 50% here right now.
I'm not here.
You know what I like about this more than anything to start the show is that there is no offseason for Gary Ross. He's got the X Factor and Ricky Stromberg. Then he's got another X Factor and Neshaun Wright. Now he's got... Wait.
I love Gary. The X Factor for the 2025 season.
He's got X Factors,
is Ricky Stromberg.
What about Amir Speed? He's got X Factors.
Okay, he's doing a bit.
I don't know if it's a bit. I don't think it is. I don't think Gary does bits. I think Gary is.
He's doing a bit.
I think he's doing a bit.
1,000%.
He's got to be doing it.
Nah, isn't this?
Bo Chanton chiming in. He says the guys on ESPN Walkie are not confident in the Packers.
Yeah, they're panicking.
Ability to win the Super Bowl. The GM is getting major heat. That's what I've been saying.
Packers stink.
They should be worried up there.
Lions are terrible.
I don't know if they stink, but they're real X Factors. Ben Johnson. That's pretty good. All right. We solicited your questions. Asked and answered is what we're calling it. And to send Greg out on a great note, he is going to be in charge of teeing up these questions for Carmen and myself to answer.
This is a good idea. Keep my attention and focus for the day, as I'm already halfway out the door and on vacation. The Cubs are also starting up in 15 seconds. So these are the things that I'm focused on right now.
Glad you reminded.
But we will grind through.
Glad you reminded everyone who's watching the show that there's other things that are more entertaining perhaps to do for
you
the
can watch both. Some of us have 2 TVs, peasant. Anyway.
HR, call the peasant. It's got to be at least a fine for that. Where are you going on your trip, Gregory?
Taking a trip to Fort Myers Beach. Yep. Every year we go down once a year. Jenny's parents have a place down there, so it's quite lovely. I already have 3 tea times booked. Going to go on the boat. It's going to hit up some pools. It's going to be a lot of fun. So forgive me. And also thank you to all the fans that got involved for this show today, because I'm not going to be involved in any way other than just asking your questions. So we're going to get to the first one. And that's from our guy, Joshua Epstein, who was firing away right away. He knew the assignment, and he asked a great question. And I'll start with you, Hoge. Who is the biggest X factor to generate offensive success other than Caleb making his jump?
First of all, that's a tough name nowadays, Joshua Epstein. Shout out to Joshua for hanging in there. That ain't easy. That cannot be easy for Joshua.
I love that Hoge's on the solo shot while Carman's
right? Like what?
I'd like to apologize to Joshua for what's happened in this world.
There's only one person on this show that can say that, and
that's not true. You could say it.
Also,
you don't have to be Jewish to say that.
We've set the record for earliest that Stevens had to put that on the screen, and it's going to be one of those days. All right, X Factor. I'm going to go. Hang with me here for a second.
This is live, Galvez.
So I think there's some candidates you can go to, like Roma Dunze, that may be a little bit more obvious. Maybe you go somewhere on the defense. I think the Bears are one spot away on their offensive line from having a pretty damn good offensive line. There's one spot that needs to be figured out, and that is left tackle. And right now, as I look at the left tackle candidates, the guy that I see has the most upside right now to provide the Bears the ability to plug that one hole that's still there at a pretty high level. I'm not saying this is likely, but this is the whole point of X Factor. Like, who's the one that can like kind of come in there, boost this offense? I think it's Ozzie Trapillo.
Love it.
So my X Factor that could really kind of bridge the gap of sort of the swing of possibilities of this season to really make this offense hum quicker than usual, and which is what how that question was worded. I am going to go with Ozzie Trapillo.
Carm?
Can you repeat Joshua's question one more time so I can think about it?
Because you missed the assignment.
Who is the biggest X factor to generate offensive success other than Caleb making his jump?
I would just like to point it out until about 5 seconds ago, Carm had a thought out this answer, and his answer was Montez Sweat.
That's okay. If you're smart, you'll know how to spin that then as the answer. But go ahead. You're not smart.
Well,
because if it was Montez Sweat, you could make the argument.
Yeah, go ahead.
The defense,
helps
has
the offense.
Right.
Yeah, no.
You could have spun it.
Adrian, I like that Drew Dahlman answer too.
Yeah. So let me lean into what Mask is cooking up here, because I do think that Mask, as an Adrian, is on the right train here, because I was thinking as an X factor as the whole team, and that's why I had Montez in my head, and I didn't fully read your question, Joshua. That's on me. My fault. I owe you lunch. But look, think about what the Bears have had at center the last, I don't know, it feels like 17 years at this point. Cody Whitehair rolling the ball back. The guy from Green Bay, Lucas Patrick, who was healthy for all of 8 seconds and never did anything. It's just been horrible. You paid money for a guy who's gonna partner with Caleb in the middle, get some continuity, get some chemistry, get some cantankerousness that you need out of a center, the 3 C's that I'm looking for. Drew Dahlman's a great answer. Mask for the win on the question to the Epstein. We're off and rolling here.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. And not only, snapping the ball, but, getting your protections in order, recognizing the defensive fronts at the line of scrimmage, taking a lot off of Caleb's plate so he doesn't have to think as much and just be the playmaker that he is. I think that's going to be a big part of Caleb's progression this year with Ben Johnson calling the plays, and not to mention, the revolving door of left guard and right guard next to the center position last year.
Sure. You've
got stability next to the, with the center in between those guys this year with Jonah Jackson and certainly Joe Thuney. My X factor has got to be Luther Burden. I know he's a rookie and that's a steep hill to climb, but we've seen rookie wide receivers make a significant, jump and have a significant role in an offense. You look at Brian Thomas last year for Jacksonville really exploding off the scene. And I'm simply looking at it from a standpoint of you've got DJ Moore, you got Rome Odeyingbo. The run game's going to be solid, if not, consistent with DeAndre Swift. And you've got Cole Kmet and Colston Loveland. I'm not going to take Colston Loveland because it takes a minute for tight ends to get acclimated in the NFL year to year. But if you look at Luther Burden, I think when you look at all the options on this team, who's going to cover Luther Burden when you've got everybody else that you've got to worry about? And this guy is dynamic, makes plays, is fearless, and he's got that spark, energy, a Jameson Williams type, of role could be implemented here in a Ben Johnson offense. I honestly look for Luther Burden to explode on the scene this year.
What's your over-under for Luther Burden on catches?
I guess my bigger question is how many touchdowns? Because when you looked at Anthony Miller's rookie year, it's less about the catches, but can he be the explosive playmaker?
All right, but just sticking to my question, what's the over-under? what's the over-under on catches?
50?
50, 3 a game, basically?
Yeah.
Steven, you're Mr.
But my touchdown over-under would be like 8.
Okay. Steven, how many catches do you think for Luther Burden? If you had to get it, you're Mr. Luther Burden.
If I was going to go over-under, it would be 56.5 would be the number.
56.5. Does Hoge, that looks like you're dealing with a constipation, and there's no way you take the over. That's what I just saw. Am I about right?
Yeah, I think I'm going under.
Yeah.
Well, keep in mind how he's used, though. He's used as a underneath guy. He's a short-term intermediate game, and if the Bears choose to use him the same way that Missouri did, that would give him a lot more opportunities. He's definitely a great run-after-catch guy.
I agree with that. I haven't seen him catch a pass yet.
You saw that one he got injured on.
Well, that was.
I feel like
he caught that one though.
I think Luther Burden incoming is at 26 catches on the year. The way it's starting out.
Wow. Okay, I don't know. I'd take the over on that.
1.5.
I'd say around 40.
40 is a fair number. Listen, to your point, if Burden breaks off X factor, Bears are cooking.
Also,
if what you said happens, it'll be great.
I don't want somebody to cut that and bring it back in November. I need to it's too early. I need to see something before I.
Don't box Hoagie Cat in any corners on July 11th, June 11th.
Just for reference, do we know how many catches Rome Odeyingbo had last year?
How many catches he had?
Yeah,
70.
Wasn't it 60 something?
It was 54. So he's right around that number. Now Keenan Allen's obviously no longer on the team. Luther Burden, you assume, steps into that role.
Right.
So it could be somewhere in that range.
Okay.
All right.
Next question.
Want to do one more here before we take a break?
Yeah.
We'll do one more quick one.
Let's do another one.
We'll do a quick one.
Well, okay.
Well, Greg said that he was just asking the questions, but then you gave a great answer. So
we can do a silly one if you don't have
well,
one ready.
that one was an
I don't know why
minicamp. All right.
It was a good
This one's probably directed at Carm. From the dude. Why are you the way that you are? You want to answer that? This could be a longer
quickie. That's a
lot of
really
onion.
How many? There's a lot.
That's actually we're doing a whole week of podcasts in July about that.
Why am I the way I am? I'm assuming you're saying that in a very complimentary way because you just love me so much. And listen, this has been 51 years of practice to get to this point. This has been, if you go back in the archives, you'll see a 7-year-old who the only thing that mattered in the world was being the best player ever on that kickball field and getting around the bases as fast as possible with the head down and just, the guy that finally got to lead off in Little League and somehow got there and choked under pressure and went 0 for 2 and struck out on probably 14 swings. There's a lot of reasons that I am where I am, and now I will depart and go see my therapist. Thank you.
I was like, depart.
I know. I'm glad you added on to that. I thought that was it.
Yeah, that's
and he just
all.
Floats off.
I am going to depart now.
To
and the crowd goes wild.
Exactly.
Shout out to the great Ann Hoffman, my fine therapist at the University of Iowa. I went to school counseling there, and they were like, I gave them all the reasons that I was there. They're
like, you need to leave.
Yeah, they're like, school counseling not enough for you. There's professionals in town. Why don't you find one? No problem. Got it. Thank you.
All right. We got more Bears questions coming up and probably some silly ones too. Plenty more coming your way here on the CHGO Bears podcast. But first,
we're headed to Las Vegas with True Fan Travel. That's right. CHGO is taking over the Strip for an epic weekend in Las Vegas. And you, my friends, are invited, and so are you. Join us as the Bears take on the Raiders September 25th. This all-inclusive trip includes a 3-night stay at a premium Vegas resort, tickets to the game, VIP parties, and unforgettable events with the CHGO crew and fellow fans, and much more. If you came to Arizona or London last year, you know that this event and what they bring to the table cannot be beaten with True Fan Travel. So don't gamble on missing the ultimate fan experience. Book your spot now at truefantravel.com.
And the time has come. I know you've been thinking about it and you're always so tempted. Now is the time to get some new golf clubs. And that means one thing, heading over to your local PXG store for a fitting. That's what I did. Went to Northbrook, got my guy Nate, fitted me out. First of all, PXG makes the best golf clubs, period.
Nate.
But you go in there, you get on the simulator. They got all the statistics, everything to dial in. They'll get you on the right shaft. I had to go stiff shaft for all of my clubs, which was a good move for me because of how long my arms are. It's the fastest way to improve your performance on the golf course with a PXG fitting. PXG fitters are highly trained, incredibly experienced. They have a deep understanding of how to optimize your clubs to get the most out of your swing. Plus, they're just fun. Schedule your fitting today, and for a limited time, you could save up to 20% off your entire order. Yeah, 20% off an entire order of golf clubs. So head over to pxg.com/CHGO. That's pxg.com/CHGO to save up to 20% on your entire order. pxg.com/CHGO. Restrictions apply. See site for details. All right, continuing the questions here on CHGO.
Yep.
Asked and answered.
Yep.
You did an unbelievable job.
Asking and answering the first question. This time I'll stay out of it. We'll start burning through some of these to get as many as we can in here on this edition of CHGO Bears. We appreciate it. Hit the like button. Bro Delicious comes in as a diehard from the Discord asking about holding on to the ball too long and the issues that he's consistently heard about Caleb. On a scale of 1 to 10, how concerning is that trend at this point in the process? You know, Carm, we've heard you numerous times in the last couple of years cite this as an issue with not just this quarterback, but the last one. Patrick Norton, if you watched our show last Friday, said that was something that he was still seeing here at minicamp and OTAs. So I'll start with you, your concern level with holding on to the ball too long.
Well, I did ask Bro Delicious yesterday, Ben Johnson, whether or not Caleb being able to play on time is the key to him getting to the next level, really taking off. And he threw the receivers in there too, saying like, well, you know, they got to get open on time and all that type of stuff. Which, to your question, he would not be running out of bounds with the football or running all over with it if that was going on. It will remain concerning to me that there's just many times during OTAs, and I'm sure we'll see it in training camp, where he doesn't know where he's going with the football. Like, I don't know if he missed the first read or the first read wasn't open or whatever it was. It's hard to win doing that. So near impossible. I don't care how talented you are. So I think it's I actually think it's the biggest issue if I had to answer it. If
Scale 1 to 10 was the question.
10. 9.7, way up there. If that if that goes away, the Bears are going to win a lot of football games. So that's why I would put it that high.
Yeah, I'm like a 4 on it. I'm not that worried about it at this point. I acknowledge that it's a thing, but compared to Justin Fields, where I was literally yelling, "Throw the ball" constantly, almost every single play. That was a level where it was a 10 for me, where it's just like it got to the point where it's just not going to get better. I I do see it. I think it's improved. And I think that that's a trend that's telling me that it will get better. Now, we'll see when there's a live pass rush and all that, but it's just nowhere near as concerning to me as it was with the previous quarterback. It's just not as consistent.
Well, I think we're putting a lot of stock into Ben Johnson fixing that because you had 68 sacks last season. Go ahead, Carm.
Well, I agree with Hoge that it is, you do see progress. I'm just saying as a whole, it's, I think it's a large part of the reason why you saw him with 68 sacks last year, unsustainable for him to have success in the NFL. So it is getting better, but it's a huge issue that needs to continue to get better.
I like this one that Steven just put up on the board. It's one of my favorite questions asked here from Menace Fallon in our Discord. Once again, if you become a diehard at allchgo.com/diehard, you can be in our Discord, get some of your questions, put out here in our shows. So we appreciate Menace Fallon. And he asks, are you seeing any clear signs of how Ben Johnson's offense is being implemented? Is there more motion, tempo, or anything in particular that stands out to you, Hoge?
Yeah, I can give you 3 things right away. One is more condensed formations. So you're not going to see the Bears as spread out. You're going to see a lot of condensed formations. Overall motion, I would say there's more short motions that I've seen, kind of the speed, like sort of right before the snap. Think like Dolphins-ish. And then I think there's been more variation in the running game too. Multiple types of concept, some outside zone, some counter, kind of a variation of all kinds of stuff, rather than being like, oh, this is just like an outside zone scheme, which is kind of where the Bears have been more the last few years. So, I do see some early things like that. And I would one more thing I throw in there too is I've seen more hand signals between the quarterback and the wide receivers too. Some pre-snap communication, which is usually a sign of like route adjustments compared to what, based on what coverage you're seeing. And if you can get those on the same page, think Aaron Rodgers all the time with Devontae Adams. That's something I think you'll see more of too in this offense.
So if Hoge goes 3, I have to go 3. I am a competitor.
Technically, I did 4.
I'm going to stick with 3 because you said 3 and I only thought of 3 and I barely.
Is one Montez Sweat's presence on the offense?
This is gonna be tough for you. He already came up with 4. It sounds like you're gonna make these up.
Like he did the offense question earlier.
Excellent read. No, first off, the tight end motion that we're seeing is, to me, vastly different. You said that already yourself?
No, I'm a child. Never mind. Keep going. He said tight end motion.
Yeah. He's talking about butts.
Oh. That's a good child right there. I like that out of you.
I am a good child.
But you're seeing tight ends in motion on what Hoge's saying. It's just quick hitters coming out of the backfield and they're getting the ball. Like I think you're going to see that a lot. I've never seen the Bears do this stuff. So that's one thing that really stood out for me.
Okay, I did say that. Go ahead.
Quick hitters in general. It seems to me that they are very much coaching up Caleb. Just in the whole footwork conversation, you see it in action where that ball is being snapped and it's coming right out. I think you're going to see a lot of that. Now, we've seen that in the past, but the way it looks is just, it actually feels like it's built for some level of success. And also just the timing in general. The fact that the head coach is calling out timing to the media on plays, like there's a precision to what they're trying to get to that feels different as well. So there's 3 things for you.
Okay. That was much better than I thought it was going to be. So good job to you.
No problem. I love the...
No, you did great. I just wasn't sure how much you were paying attention to that. So you actually came up with some things. You cited what you saw. I don't know. I'm not out there, so I just figure you're screwing around.
Next question.
If anybody is curious, I don't like Greg Braggs. It's true.
Joshua Epstein asking the hard-hitting questions. This one is for Carm. Is Tyson Bagent in actual danger of losing his roster spot, or would the Bears consider carrying 3 quarterbacks?
Is it for me?
I think they will carry 3 quarterbacks. I don't know if I don't really think he's in danger of losing his roster spot.
Could he be traded?
That's a different question, though, and I think there's another question later about that. So we'll save that conversation, or maybe that'll be the next question.
Right.
But
put the camera back.
We
on
can double
me.
barrel the Bagent.
Ryan Poles called up Tyson Bagent and told him that they were signing Keenum, that they're keeping 3 quarterbacks, that you guys are going to have to compete. Bagent couldn't care less about that. Dude's been competing his whole life. Same thing with Keenum. They're going to carry 3 quarterbacks. He's going to be on the 53. They're not going to make him available on any practice squads. Now, will he be active on game day? I'm assuming not. I don't think you'll have 3 quarterbacks active on game day. So whoever is the 3rd quarterback, and it better be Case Keenum, but if it's not, none of those guys are going anywhere this year.
yeah, I think they'll have 3 quarterbacks.
I understand having Case Keenum on the team and keeping 3 quarterbacks to keep that room insulated for Caleb to have a veteran presence in there. But in the event that Caleb has to come out for a play or a game or a couple weeks, I would much rather see Tyson Bagent play. We're not talking about a rookie quarterback. Tyson's in his 3rd year. So
you want the best player on the team to play.
So, I'm not saying Case Keenum can't play, but I just personally rather see Bagent. It'll be interesting to see how that shakes out at training camp and see how those two compete for second-team reps. All right, let's get on to the next one.
Isn't there like a rule that you could have like that emergency 3rd quarterback? He's not part of like the active roster, but in an emergency situation, he can be.
Yeah, they. Yes.
So I mean,
I'd have to look up the specifics of it again, but yes, you can have your the 3rd quarterback. I believe can actually be on the practice squad and still dressed. I have to look it all up again.
So I guess my point on that is all 3 of those guys are going to be there on game day every single week.
Gary Ross saying the emergency quarterback has to be on the 53-man roster. Gary Rappaporter.
I do love Gary's show that he does alongside our show. Yeah, sometimes his show's better than our show.
Got another quick one here.
All right.
Yeah, I don't really understand this one.
Bear down, breakdown. Carm, why did you ghost these guys on LinkedIn?
Okay, bear down, breakdown. I ghost no one. This is upsetting. If I didn't respond to a LinkedIn message,
Did you look into this?
no, I have not. That's why I'm
You're
pulling
gonna
up my
do this
computer
right now?
Yes, of course. I
Okay.
can't be having bear
So
down,
we'll have
breakdown.
to stall until
No, there's
you
no
figure
stall.
this out.
No, move along, and I'll handle this.
All right.
Bear down, breakdown.
While he looks that up, we'll answer another
My
quick.
apologies.
Well, we don't know yet.
Thank you for reaching out. If I and to my Discord diehard favorite people on earth, and I've been missing you guys for a little bit here, just with whatever's been going on in the schedule. When you write me and I click on that thing, somehow it just goes away, and so I know I'm missing messages there too, and I apologize. I got to work on that too. Got to talk to our technological wing here.
Well, shout out to Dylan, who came out to one of our tailgates last year. Lives in Fort Myers, Florida. We're going to be going golfing next Tuesday, so I'm excited for that. And when I reached out to him, he gladly obliged and got us a tea time. Excited for that one. So shout out to Dylan. All right, you good, or did you figure this out?
Not yet. Just keep going.
All right,
I'm
let's do
listening.
another question while he
can-
figures this out.
I can multitask.
All right, I don't know if all right. Yes, here we go, Hogue. This is another fun one. Which beat reporter was most checked out and ready for vacation on Tuesday? To clarify, I am not a beat reporter, so I cannot be the answer, because I would most definitely be the answer if it wasn't for that.
This will be an interesting answer from Ho. Go ahead.
Yeah, I teased this on Hogan John's when we recorded this morning, which is interesting timing because I don't think that's out yet, so that'll be weird. I'm gonna go with the Fishman.
Oh
Wow.
Yeah. Well, Kevin Fishbane went full Adam Johns and missed mandatory veteran minicamp to go to Disney World with his family.
Wow.
That's the type of guy Kevin Fishbane is.
Wow.
And all I know is I heard more Disney World talk yesterday from Fishbane than football talk. So I'm not sure if he was fully, back from Disney World. It seemed like his mind was still in France in Epcot. Ratatouille.
Yeah. I mean, I saw Kevin this morning as I was parking at the train. I drove over to his elite neighborhood because I wanted to take the train from there.
Sources told me that he treated you like you were the paparazzi.
He ran away from me with his children and didn't want anything to do with me. It was a little bit upsetting. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. But I thought his focus and his morning walk was excellent. So there's that. But I think you might be right. I think Fishbane's checked out.
Okay. Speaking of checked out, I mean, did you figure out who you ghosted on LinkedIn?
No,
you
keep
just
moving
didn't.
along. I'll update you when I update
it's
you.
LinkedIn. Settle down.
All right. Well, how
many different platforms do we have to be on?
While Carm, figures out who he big timed, we're gonna take a quick time out, and we come back. We're gonna get to more of your questions. They will be OTA minicamp related, and if they're not, I got a few that I want to throw at these guys. But first,
that moment. The one when you realize you left your favorite sunglasses at the beach. My son once buried his in the beach and we couldn't find them. That happened. There's also the time they went flying off my face in the Lake Michigan. Those were a nice pair of expensive sunglasses. Maybe they're on the roof of your car. Gas station 3 states away. That would be Carm for sure. With Shady Rays, you don't have to worry about any of that because Shady Rays changed the game. These sunglasses are made for real life, seriously good looking, polarized, durable, not stupidly expensive. They have sunglasses for anything: golf, driving,
the beach,
hiking, the beach, boating, whatever you're using your sunglasses for. And here's the wild part. If you lose or break them, even on day one, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, just replacements. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Head to shadyrays.com. Use code CHGO. You'll get 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
And once you got your Rays on, you got to smell good. And the way to do that is with the whole body deodorant, head to toe. Our friends at Mando. That's right. If you smell in crevices that you don't want to talk about, like the man to my left, you need yourself some Mando. This was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how the normal BO, that's been misdiagnosed, mistreated. We need the good stuff. This is clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. 12 hours after the shower, a lot of you stink. This one, 0 out of 10 stinkage. It's perfect. And you want to find it out? Get the Mando Starter Pack, perfect for new customers. Solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice. Special for you, $5 off with the starter pack. That's 40% off. Use the code CHGO at shopmando.com, SHOPMANDO.com. Head to toe, Mando.
And for the record, yes, Gary was right. They tweaked the quarterback rules a year ago. So it's you have all 3 quarterbacks need to be on the 53-man roster, but you could be inactive on game day and then be elevated as the emergency quarterback, but you can't be on the practice squad, which I now remember us talking about many times last year.
Many times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the clarification, Gary, who says Disney is the Bears X Factor this year. Okay.
Carm, what do you think about this question? This is from Barbara Graham, Braggs' mom.
Yeah.
Carm, since Greg and Fam are ditching me, when is your softball game next week? Send me a schedule.
Barb, it's at 8 o'clock. I don't even have to, because the great manager knows the schedule. 8 o'clock. WGN is the opponent, so it's a big game. Crystal will welcome you with open arms, of course, as will the rest of the team. Come on out to Mozart Park. Unlike your son, who hasn't made it to a game in 3 years, who works here and could be helping us in so many ways, we'd love to have you.
That's right.
So I got to hand it to the manager of the squad. I did some deep reporting on the CHGO softball team, and there was.
You can be in the lineup too, Barb. That's Blake's right. We'll put you in the lineup.
I guess there was an unhappy player. Or there was a player who was unhappy with his role on the team, and I thought that Carm went full Ben Johnson and handled it decisively.
Yeah, we got some people that they're great players, but it's kind of like for my old school people out there in the natural. I mean, I'm Wilford Brimley. I'm the manager. You're the player. You sit your butt down and you listen to me. That's how this works. I mean, I appreciate all our guys, but sometimes, the Dennises, the Bens, they get a little out in front of themselves. And that's why, I am paid the big bucks, and that's why Kevin in the store is supporting us, because he appreciates the way I manage this damn team.
Now I am now rescinding my praise because he just called them out publicly and bus tossed them. So I thought up until that moment he handled it perfectly.
That's more of the Dennis Allen way. You did it publicly in the media.
Yeah, no, see, that's the way it should be done. It's like, do you remember Phil Jackson when Scottie Pippen took himself out of the 1.8?
That's different.
Not different.
It was because it happened in front of everybody's eyes. Nobody knew about what I just brought up until I did my reporting. Everybody saw Scottie Pippen do that in the moment. It had to be addressed publicly.
It's a fair point by you, but listen, I manage my style, and if you want to question my style,
I had no idea Dennis Gambino was such a problem until that manager just said that publicly on the biggest Bears show that exists. So I
mean, Gambino's just he's a great player. And he's so versatile, and he can hit at the top of the lineup. He can hit at the middle. He can play center. He can play first. He can play short.
Okay, next question.
But he hasn't been bringing the cheeseburgers like he needs to bring, and he only brought himself one cheeseburger, and that's not okay. You're going to bring a cheeseburger pregame, 10 cheeseburgers.
Oh, maybe Mom can bring the cheeseburgers.
Exactly.
If she brings dinner, I'll come.
All right. Well, I mean...
Another bad teammate.
I mean, she once cooked Thanksgiving here.
Dinner to be brought for him to come out.
I'm not a teammate. I'm not on the team.
You sit next to me for roughly, let's call it.
I'm a teammate here. I'm not a softball teammate. I'm not on the softball team.
Part of the problem that I'm dealing with every single day. Just trying to make people aware of what their roles are.
All right, let's get to serotonin here. Let's stop the funky business here. He asks, which wide receiver would be the best case scenario for the Bears if they ended the year as the number one wide receiver?
J.P. Richardson. I mean, it's got to be Rome, right?
It's got to be Rome.
One more time with the question. I was thinking about the softball team and how annoyed I am.
Best case scenario for who would be the number one wide receiver for the Bears by the year, at the end of the year. Best case scenario, like of all the wide receivers on the team.
It's a hard question because you want your highest paid dude to be dominating. You want DJ Moore to be doing that. But if you told me that Rome's crushing and that makes DJ expendable and the number 9 overall pick is taken off and he's number 1, I mean that's not a bad scenario.
I wouldn't call
one of the two is the answer.
I wouldn't call it expendable just because Rome elevates to the number 1 wide receiver level, of play. Yes, DJ gets paid what he gets paid, but at the same time, now you have an opportunity for DJ to fill into the role that I think is more suited for him. Like Rome Odunze is a top 10 pick. He should be a number 1 wide receiver at some point in his career.
DJ is going to fight you for that comment. He wants to be the number 1 dude.
Well, they all do.
Yeah, but why would Rome end up leading the team in receptions make DJ more expendable?
I'm talking from if I'm Ryan Poles and Rome is a clear number 1 and I'm paying DJ $28 million.
Yeah, but did DJ Moore still have
a very good season? You'd still be overpaid.
Why would you get rid of him?
He'd still be overpaid at that point if he's not really a number 1. You're paying him as a 1. You want him to be the 1. But that'd be a great problem to have.
They're not paying him like he's Jerry Rice. It's not.
Where does he rank in wide receiver pay? Let's look that up.
Not number 1.
He's got to be in the top 10.
That's different, though.
Well, I'm going to stick with my answer.
All right,
to me, it should. Either one's fine, but I think ideally the dude that you're paying should be at the top.
I think in general we obsess too much about number 1 wide receivers. I want to see balls completed.
It's premium position.
I don't really care who catches them.
Yeah,
I just want to see passes completed.
Well, while Carm looks that up, I'll remind everyone when Rome was drafted last year, a lot of people were saying that had he been in the year prior's draft, he would have been the number 1 receiver selected. You don't typically see receivers selected that high in the top 10. We did see it again this year with Ted McMillan, and if you want to count Travis Hunter. But, I mean, to me, that just says that there were sky-high expectations for Rome Odeyingbo, and he never really had a chance to shine last year just because of the Keenan Allen presence as well. For me, the answer is also Rome, and if we're going backwards to earlier in the show, he's also my X factor for this season.
Well,
Jamar Chase is 1 at 40. Jefferson is 2 at 35. CeeDee Lamb makes 34. DK makes 33. A.J. Brown, 32. Amon-Ra, 30. Brandon Ayuk, 30. Tyreek Hill, 30. Could be available. Anybody interested? T. Higgins, 28.7. Jalen Waddle, 28 and a quarter. So DJ just out of the top 10.
you didn't say what he's making.
He's not listed in the top 10. DJ, let me double check my work on that just to make sure I have his contract right. DJ Moore this year is making a robust 27.5. I'm sorry, that's his average. This year.
Yeah, but APY is fine.
Okay, 27.5. So he's just outside the top 10, as I was saying.
But if he still gives you 1,000 yards and Rome Odeyingbo went off and reached his own expectations, I'm fine with that. I think you're getting you're getting exactly what you wanted with the money you paid and the draft capital you paid to have dynamic wide receivers.
That's
You're
fine.
happy.
You're paying him 25 this year, 28.5 in 26, 28.5 in 27. You can get out after that year with a $4 million dead cap hit after 27, but he's locked in for the next 2 years, which is why, to my point, you want him still at number 1, 28, 29. If you keep him, 28.5, 24.5.
All right, next question.
Next question, next item up for bid here on Asked and Answered. Please hit that like button while you're hanging out. Dylan Davids is asking, do you find it alarming that we literally heard nothing about Dayo Odeyingbo during off-season programs? We paid this dude so much money, and I've heard nothing about him so far.
Alarming's a little strong. Putting it on the list of concerns, I think, is fair. He wasn't really out there in minicamp. I said this last week. Happy for Dom Rob that he's getting called out by the head coach. He was also called out by the head coach last year as somebody that was doing well. So to the point of the question, you paid Dayo Odeyingbo a lot of money. You're looking for him to develop and take the next step. The good news is pads haven't been on. I guess the bad news is pads haven't been on, though. Like, we should be talking about a guy showing speed off the edge and making some plays, and whether he's banged up or whatever, it's on the list of concerns. I'm with you on that.
I mean, I think if there's 4 guys, 2 guys on each side of the ball that we really didn't hear that much about in off-season programs, Dayo Odeyingbo's one. Shamar Turner, didn't hear much about him here over the last 3 or 4 weeks. And then Drew Dahlman and Jonah Jackson on the offensive side of the ball. And that must be a good thing?
Yeah, I think on the offensive side, that's a good thing.
I'm kind of with Grace on this one with the who and doesn't exist. Haven't heard one thing about him. I got to be honest. I'm pretty certain I was at every minicamp. Did you even notice Dayo Odeyingbo once?
Well, I noticed he's wearing number 55, which is weird.
Okay. I mean, no pads, impossible to tell impact on either the offense or the defensive line. It's kind of a ridiculous exercise. That being said, I didn't notice him once. So,
okay.
You want to put that in a 1% concern corner? Go ahead.
1%. Let's take one more question before we take another quick break. Give a shout out to our sponsors, but we'll do one more here. No more Bagent ones. I don't know. We don't have any more? All right. We can have fun with this. Carm, finish this up. What compensation would you need to trade Bagent since he's in his last year and could be an intriguing free agent? So you love Bagent.
Mm-hmm.
What would you have to get to give up the love of your life?
Well, what I like to do in life, Greg, is, and I have, some slight experience on this, is you want to let the loves of your life that need to go fly, you want to set them free and let them the ability. And if they come back to you, then they come back. But you want to give them the opportunity. And I believe that as one of the love in my life, Tyson deserves an opportunity to be set free. Okay. So and see what he can do in the league, because we all know that Caleb's going to be great, and it's not going to happen here. So, with that in mind, him being in the last year of his contract, what would I be willing to trade Tyson Bagent for right now? Somebody wants to give me a second-round pick for Tyson. He gets an opportunity to start all in. Great for him, great for the Bears.
A second-round pick?
I'm not saying you can get it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it would ever happen.
Oh, if someone offered me a second-round pick right now, I would. Yeah.
You're making that.
Yes.
You trade him for a third?
Depends on if Case Keenum continues the.
I mean, who cares if
after the third, I'm probably a no. Even third, look, backup quarterback's too valuable for me. I think once we're out of the second, if it's a second-round pick, I'd be in. Third,
right? Exactly.
It would depend on Case Keenum. Beyond that, I probably wouldn't do it because I do like Tyson Bagent. But realistically, it's sort of a silly conversation because I don't think there's a team out there right now that would do that.
Right.
And I wouldn't expect less.
How's this? If I was the Pittsburgh Steelers, would I have called up the Bears and asked about Bagent?
They might have.
It's possible, I suppose. I mean, Schefter reported that Rodgers was their third choice. So,
well, let's take a quick time out here, and we'll finish this up with some diehards that had some questions, and then we've got some super chats as well that are OTA and off-season related. We appreciate everyone's support. Hit that like button, and we'll come back to all of that here in just a second. But first,
Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake is kicking off summer with big savings all month long. Come in today to shop the summer sales event drive home with $10,000 off MSRP on new Chevy models. Check out their selection of over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. They always got that going for you. And with one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories, you're sure to find the perfect vehicle for you. Plus, Ray's Price Promise lets you shop confidently because the price you see is the price you pay. Go see for yourself. Visit our partner at their convenient location right off Route 12 in Fox Lake. You cannot miss it, and you don't want to miss out on their summer sales event going on all month long for $10,000 off MSRP on new Chevy models. Shop Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or at raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Go check them out. Route 12 in Fox Lake. You cannot miss it. Together, let's drive.
Amazing ride this morning in the Chevy Trax when I saw Kevin Fishbane and his family. Hey, shout out to our friends at Game Time. Game Time has a new feature. It's called Game Time Picks. It makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams live even easier. They filter out the fluff. They show you only the incredible deals on the great seats. That's what I love. What's the best buy here? Section, price, value, all the good things. I want to know it. That's what they do for you. It makes it simple. I love that out of Game Time. Super deals, seat views before you buy it, lowest price guarantee, all in pricing. Don't give me the fees at the end. I want to know what I'm paying up front. Of course, they do that at Game Time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create that account, use that redeem code CHGO for $20 off. Download yourself Game Time today. What time is it?
Game time.
Game Time. Get your tickets.
All right, now that we
please don't ever. I'm still driving the show, Greg.
Mark
please
Carman
don't ever
had
make
a
that
stroke.
noise ever again.
Can't promise you that. Shout out to Poppy the puppy and the Bears and Game Time. We're all in this together. Hoge.
Poppy looked like a prisoner.
Yeah, hostage
in
situation.
that softball photo.
Poppy disagrees. Poppy was having a great time. Poppy really, she honed in on the neighborhood.
You got her trained to like get the bat after the hit.
No, it's a good idea.
That would be cool.
I like that idea.
Have that dog do something productive. Yeah. That could also be Greg's job if he comes out to a game.
Or Barb's. Make mom do it.
Wow. You just try to give your mom the dog job, in essence.
Yeah.
Somehow that feels wrong, but it's your mom.
It's fine. Put her to work.
Donnie wants Poppy on the show tomorrow to replace Braggs. I would usually say it's a good idea, but Poppy's had a rough go of it here in the studios.
A rough go of it. Get it? That was good.
Idiot. All right.
All right, we got a few more here from the diehards.
We also have super chats, and we got to get off in 10 minutes.
We got 2 super chats right now, sir. So we're gonna roll through these. These are our loyal diehards that want to ask you. So this is Mr. Randall Fancy Pants. What are the development successes of the current coaching staff? Guys who made an impact, being around 3+ picks. Trey Hendrickson for Dennis Allen as an example. How does that compare with our previous staff? This is kind of a layered one here.
Good question there.
So it is a good question. This was part of the reason why I filtered these, because that one was going to make me do a lot of research that I was not ready for today's show. But here we are.
I'll do the research.
Sam Laporte at the top of that list is one guy that would stick out.
Sure. How about Al Harris? He took 2 different defensive backs, turned both of them into all pros.
Yep.
That's Trevon Diggs and then also
Deron
Bland.
Yep. And Eric Bieniemy obviously developed Adrian Peterson once upon a time with the Vikings. I don't know if he needed much developing.
Yeah, I'm not sure that goes under the developmental category.
He said, give that man the football.
Yes. But he was a part of, the younger days for Adrian Peterson. So, and then I think when you look at Antoine Randall and Ben Johnson for that matter, and you look at the progression of Jameson Williams, with Detroit and the struggles they went through, him getting suspended a few times and him and having his problems, and then blossoming last year and really coming out like a cannonball. You're hoping you start to see that from the wide receiver room with some of the young guys there. Okay, let's get to the next one.
Well, let's just do the super chat.
Let's do the super chats.
Gary Lavario, $5. I'm disappointed in you, Carm. You missed the perfect opportunity to sing yesterday when Hoge said school was out for summer.
It's never, you're a good point, Gary, but it's not really my tune. I don't hit that one particularly well.
You know what? Here's a true story.
Yep.
So when school was out for summer for my kids, I started doing the Carm. I was walking around the house singing but some of those lyrics of that song are not really good to be singing in front of kids.
That's good because I didn't know the lyrics. I did the exact same thing in my house, and I was just screaming it out. School's out for summer.
Yeah, but school's been blank, 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 blank.
Forever?
Blown to pieces.
Oh. Well, that's not good.
I just started singing it, and I said that right in front of my 10-year-old, and my wife was mad at me.
Yeah, 6-year-old.
Which is true. I mean, that's fair.
6-year-old Layla, Jackie's amazing daughter, she was actually crying that school is out for summer, wants to go back to school.
Well, my kid does summer school, and he actually said he liked it. So,
I didn't know that existed. Parents are putting kids back into summer school. Can't they just go around and run around the neighborhood and be idiots?
It's called IEPs, and there's there's kids that need it. Okay,
no, I get it. The summer, just it can't be the summer anymore. They've taken away all the fun.
All right, David Galvez, $5 super chat. What are the early training camp tendencies, indicators you'll be watching out for to determine how this season will play out?
Well, those are some easy ones there, right? How's left tackle thing settle into would be one easy answer there. The other one would be just in general how the offense looks, period. Also, is Montez Sweat healthy? How does, who's pairing with him? Anything else you want to throw out in there?
No, I think that's a good summary. I mean, obviously, Caleb's progress, who's winning left tackle, who the personal protector is on punt.
Yeah, that's big.
They somehow got criticized for that one yesterday.
Who criticized you?
Just
randos?
Some idiot on Twitter, which I shouldn't even have paid attention to.
That should be my account. At some idiot on Twitter.
That's Greg's account.
It just says at the Carm.
I love my Twitter. Thank you. Yeah, play the hits on that one, David. You right?
And then health. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to see 10 guys that miss all of August, which was like a theme under Matt Eberflus.
Yep. How quickly can Braxton, Colston, and Luther get out on the practice field?
Well, Hoge and I and Braggs from the train tracks will all be there to see what it looks like the first time Braxton Jones walks out on that practice field, to see how much of a limp is in there, And
or even if he's out there.
Right, exactly. Even if he's out there, how quickly can he get up to full speed? Gregory, continue on the next one.
No.
Get off the Cub game.
Hoge's going to finish this off. I'm not driving anymore. And I'm at the point now
I don't know
where
why
I've
you asked him to do that. He can watch. I don't care if he watches the Cubs game.
This guy's elite. Got the Cub game on his phone, doing a show.
They're losing 4-0.
Thinking about Florida.
They're losing.
And his next cheeseburger and whiskey.
We did a mini pod earlier. The guy walked up as we were like basically doing the intro.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Gary Lavario's asking for $5. Hey, Carm, what was the B story that you were supposed to share yesterday? Did I miss it?
There was a B story that I was going to share yesterday.
Yeah, you did say something along those lines.
We talked about the Flus bees. Wasn't that?
Yeah, but Gary, I apologize because I'm not sure what you're talking about or what I was talking about yesterday.
That was a great summary.
Well, apparently yesterday on the show I was talking about some players on the Bears that were like outstanding players that according to Hoge, that I definitely did not say, but maybe I did. I got to go back and watch yesterday's show now for two reasons. I could tell you the story. The only time that I ever got stung by a bee, which was at the Highland Park train station. I was 9 years old. I had those. You remember those thin, like, just pure candy sticks? It was like you could get grape or apple.
Fun dip.
It was hard to peel off the plastic. And I was, eating that, and the bee wanted it, and I didn't want to give it to the bee, so the bee stung me right here, right in the neck, right for the old the gullet. Went for it, and I just was by myself in a random, at a train station. I had to walk home like a mile to get home. By the time I got halfway home, I had stopped crying. But then I walked in the door and I saw my mom, and I was like, and she instantly knew something was wrong. And then I started bawling again saying I got stung by a bee. That's the bee story.
Fun fact about that bee: it was actually Greg in his previous life.
It was.
Yeah.
It looked like
much more previous.
It was a huge bee.
Because you're old.
But see, remember, bees die when they sting you, so that's how Greg died in his previous life. And then he came back
as your co-host.
It was a fat bee.
Jesus.
Have a great vacation.
Oh, man.
Anthony.
In 3, 2.
$5. Caleb taking a big step forward is what I'll be manifesting all summer. Can I get a Bragg's meatball meltdown on this, please?
You got 2 minutes.
The only thing that I'm going to be melting down is my Miami Vice frozen drink on the side of the beach at Fort Myers Beach. Cannot wait. I'm going to keep all this Caleb Williams and Chicago Bears energy saved for training camp. We're going to get through the rest of this summer. I'm going to do my best not to freak out when the Cubs lose like they currently are right now. And you will get your meatball meltdowns in due time, Anthony, but I appreciate your support. And I hope you wish me well while I'm in Florida.
How's Fort Myers Beach doing these days?
They've been recovering over the last few years.
Is my
What do you normally do for dinner on these vacations? What does that look like? You get a corn on the cob going on. You make a little turkey sandwich. We'll
hit up like Sanibel Island.
You're on the Gulf of Mexico. You get seafood.
Yeah, sushi.
You think this guy eats seafood?
Yeah,
yes, I do.
You do?
Absolutely.
Like what?
All sorts. I mean, what do you mean? Whatever's down there. I mean, sushi is my favorite thing to get down there. There's a restaurant called Blue, and they have this lobster sushi that goes around the lobster. And I'll take a picture of it. It's amazing. I can't wait to get down
All
there.
I hear about on the show is Texas Roadhouse and Taco Bell. I'm off kilter. Gregory, we're gonna miss you for real. Have a great trip. Don't come back until you're ready to come back.
Well, that would be in 6 weeks, but I'll be back in a week and a half for Friday 120 Club. And make sure you guys come out to Friday 120 Club, and make sure you become a diehard at allchgo.com/diehard when you sign up. QR code here on your screen. Get a free shirt right out the gate. Get discount 20% off all merchandise and events going forward. We've got tailgates all season long for every home game that you guys can come out to. Tickets are already available for that. Those are all the great things they have to offer. at allchgo.com/diehard, including exclusive written content by these two fine gentlemen.
Great graphic.
Really good.
It is
looks
great.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Jaqueline makes an appearance on that thing.
Huh. Okay.
Really up in the content in there.
Well, I think we're out of here.
Well, we got Braggs. Your mom sent me a throwback picture during the show.
Yes.
Why?
For this one? Oh, it's good. It's a good one. Look at this. Let me get the.
What is the context of this?
You don't need context.
Just
Eddie's wearing a bib
pictures.
that says "I drool navy and orange." So you were raising her right from a young age.
That's right. That's right.
Greg doesn't look like he's aged a bit. Look at that.
Yeah.
I think we're actually making you feel younger.
That's every day. While Hoge gets older.
Oh, I am.
Hoge's dying.
I've gone ×3 the last 3 years. I am aging 3 years for every year without it. And it's not even. I started getting. Yeah. No, it's bad. All right. We'll do it again tomorrow, though.
Well, yeah.
It'll be me and Carm and Steven. Maybe we should find a guest for tomorrow.
Let's get a guest.
We have a fun show planned for Friday, though.
Really fun show.
So we got
Former Bear.
We got a former Bear coming on Friday, a good friend of ours, too. We'll reminisce. We'll rank the greatest Northwestern sideline reporters of all time. And tomorrow's show, though, we haven't figured out. We'll do that, though, I promise, between now and noon tomorrow. It's going to be a good one. Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, Greg Braggs. Thanks to Steven producing. We'll see you tomorrow at noon.
We all silly like the mayor.